Yo.
Hello, Timmy. So I'm gonna read you this BuzzFeed. It's from BuzzFeed. 18 sex stories that will make you never want to have sex again. Number 1, the salad and the vagina. My friend always tells the story of how her brother and his girlfriend once bought a salad at a gas station so that he could eat it out of her vagina. A few days later, she went to the ER with maggots in her vagina. Number 2. The birthday surprise. It was my birthday, and my friends and I took a bartender home. After things got hot, the dude said, "You know what I'm really into? Getting eaten out." My friend Denise wasn't having it, but I'd done it before, and this guy was 100% grade A beef, so I agreed. He was on his back, and Denise was sitting on his face. So I started working from his balls to his taint. I don't know what that is. To his back door. As I went down, he suddenly sharted in my mouth. Number 3.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. Oh, this one's gross. The wrong time to sneeze. Number 4. The eBay surprise. A purchase. I bought eBay, the best place to buy the stuff.
I'm just mute for a second. I'm just gonna listen to you, cause there's like really loud in my background. So.
Yeah. Okay. The eBay purchase. I bought these anal beads really cheap from eBay because I was curious about them. I ended up trying them with my boyfriend one night. Everything was fine until he pulled them out again. I felt a sudden hesitation from him, so I looked back and saw him with 2/3 of the goddamn thing. The rest was missing in my butt. I almost panicked, but I managed to fish them out of my butthole in the bathroom after some struggle. Do not buy cheap sex toys, peeps. I wasn't planning to. Number 5, the church sermon. My fiance once slept with a preacher's daughter one time. They decided to have sex in the balcony of the church while her father was preaching a sermon on Sunday morning. She came right as her father finished preaching and screamed, "Oh God!" Someone in the audience responded with "Hallelujah." The perfect time. Number 6. The first time fertilizer. I slept with a guy I've been seeing for a month. After the initial pain, I got into it and enjoyed it a lot. The tragedy occurred later on that night when I realized I had to do a number 2. He said the toilet in his guest house where we were wasn't working. The one in the main house was fine, but he had rented out the main house, and I couldn't go in that late, so I ended up taking a dump in his garden. Number 7. The unfortunate time to be wearing a white skirt. Things felt a little wetter than usual. When my boyfriend... The first sentence is already so sus. When my boyfriend and I were fooling around, but I assumed we were just extra horny. He looked down and asked if I was on my period. I wasn't, but when he pulled out, there was blood everywhere. We noticed the blood was coming from his penis. We grabbed a towel and put pressure on it to stop bleeding. It stopped. We realized his frenulum had snapped. Oh, penis snapping.
Damn, rip penis.
Rip penny. So we went to the hospital. While in the waiting room, I felt a rush of liquid come out of my vagina. Since we hadn't immediately stopped having sex, he basically filled me up with blood. Oh God. So they continued. How can you have sex while blood is coming out of your penis?
hella painful. So,
Oh, the post-sex teamwork. It's like a movie. I was really horny, so I drove 45 minutes to my ex's house to have sex, obviously, as you do. The next morning, I realized I never took out my tampon. His penis was so big that it pushed the tampon up too far, and I couldn't get it out. After 30 minutes, I gave up and called the guy, asked for a favor. I went to his work, locked the doors, pulled out some medical gloves, and a towel, and I spread my legs on his desk so he could pull the tampon. He finished around 15 minutes and finally got it out. Imagine entering like your boss, hey boss, and you just see them doing a surgery on her vagina. Okay, I'm not gonna interrupt this beautiful moment. Number 9.
wholesome.
Yeah,
Wholesome.
no.
Damn.
They're just making love in every way they know how to.
Yeah, that's so wholesome as frick.
Yeah. The belated present. After a bad breakup in college, I went out with some girlfriends. Ended up going home with someone. 3 days later, I felt something weird when I went to the bathroom. I pulled out a condom that still held semen in it. That's gross. I went 3 days without noticing a filled condom was stuck in my vagina. Damn.
How?
I don't know. She was just too used to have like something inside her vagina. Like it just felt normal to her. Number 10, the dirty talk. Me and my now ex-boyfriend were fooling around in bed. I thought it was going to lead to sex, but instead he grabbed my labia, I don't know that, and started opening it and closing it, while saying release the Kraken thing experience. My boyfriend bought a vibrator for me as a surprise for the night. It was all fun games until we heard a shutter and a crack. He had one half of the vibrator in his hand and the other half stuck inside me. I sat there totally mortified. Instead of going to the ER, I pushed it out like I was giving birth. It was the most embarrassing moment ever.
Damn, congratulations. So,
Back in my day, a vibrator was stuck in my vagina.
damn, that's interesting, Grandpa.
I want to try that someday. The amateur gymnast. Once I came home and my roommate and her FWB, I don't know what that means, were having sex standing up. In the middle of the room, she was bent over like she was reaching for her toes, and he was behind her. When they saw me come in, he thrusted really hard, and she did a somersault. I saw many body parts I never wanted to see. Number 13, the petty ex. I was in high school and snuck out around 2 a.m. to meet the 2 boys. My most recent ex at the time called me, and in the middle of the threesome. What? I love how casual she is. Oh yeah, also we were having a threesome while my ex called me, and I foolishly answered. And he got super jealous and called my parents to tell them what I was doing. My parents then drove and picked me up. It was so awkward. He could have just joined, instead of snitching. You're like, hey, room for more? Number 14, the morning after the night before. My boyfriend came home drunk and wanted anal. Like you do. We done it once before, but we were both sober and careful to go slow and use lube. This time he was so drunk he poured all the lube all over my ass and shoved his dick right in it. It hurt so bad I had to stop him after a minute or two. The next morning he went to the bathroom and found shit under his foreskin that had been there all night.
Wonder
Number
what happened to that penis.
probably ate it. No, just kidding. Number 15. The alternative form of protection. Didn't have a condom, and I did what I want to get pregnant. I did not want to get pregnant, okay. So my boyfriend made one of the grocery bags and then taped it to his dick. And to God, worst first time ever. The guy though, I bet the guy was loving it. Transformers sound effects. The cheating that allegedly doesn't count. I hooked up with a guy I'd only known for a few days. Everything went fine until it was time to drop him off at his place. Wait, what? So the girl dropped off the guy. It's supposed to be the other way around. This is
No, that is just increasing.
Okay, so everything went fine until it was time to drop him off at his place. The next morning, there was a guy standing outside the apartment, looking pissed, who immediately started toward us. Apparently, the guy was gay, but liked to cheat on his live-in boyfriend with women. Okay, because to him that wasn't cheating. Counts. 17. The murder mystery. My period are super heavy, like having to wear double protection heavy. So my hubs and I usually go for it in the shower. Oh, that's okay. It's been generally incident free, but once we did it, finished up all nice, went to bed, and satisfied. And then were woken up by my daughter screaming the next morning because she found dried bloody handprints on the shower. Women are sharing the most surprising things they didn't realize about penises, and it's hysterical. 1. Ball skin is constantly moving, surreal. It's like a moving magic eye painting. It's not even close. It's not even close to an eye painting. How squishy when it's flaccid. The texture.
Don't worry, I won't. Don't worry.
The texture. When they said hard, I didn't know what to expect, but it wasn't that. What struck me the most was that it's just there, dangling away all day, every day, just hanging out with its ball buddies. Like, how do you not sit on it? Saw a grower, not a shower, and was super impressed by the size when erect compared to flaccid. Sure, of a penis. I'd only seen babies naked. Number 13. How completely floppy and structureless it is when soft. I always want to flop it around like those gel sparkle stress toy tubes from the 90s. Penis, and finally the last one. Not the penis, but the testicles are alive. Like two separate living entities in a soft skin bag. I could not believe how much they move around, and if you give them a little poke, they move even more. And then if it's
Put this.
remember, kids, always check your penises, cause you'll never know if your ex has already chopped it off.